Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, it is raining just now. Wow. It's thundering. Wow. Yes, I open up the curtains, get some air in here, and boy, wow. Yeah, this is Spirit Journey. And this is rainy season, or entering rainy season down here. The evenings are so beautiful here. You look out the window, you see the lights and everything. Ooh, you saw that? Ooh, how exciting. How exciting. This is beautiful. I love that sound. Yes, today is Thursday, September 25, 2025. And it's about 7 p.m. And what a beautiful evening this is. Boy, I'm doing something, doing a lot of thinking. What a day today. Yeah, Lavender, he's okay right now. But there was an episode earlier today that kind of scared me. Yeah, he's more delicate than I thought. But he quickly recovered after an hour. I went out today for a little walk. I needed to get out of the house. And usually, like when we're on our way back home, I let him walk a little bit. Everything was beautiful. And then something happened to him. Don't know what that noise was. Don't know what, I'm sorry. Yeah, he had an episode. He started screaming. And I thought he was having a seizure. He was in my arms. You know, like after a walk, when I'm entering the gate, I don't like him to run up the stairs because to conserve his energy. So I carried him up the stairs, and at the door, something happens, and then he starts to scream. His head, he never did this before, but his head went all the way back, touching his back, and like he started shaking like a seizure, and then he kind of collapsed. And I had to hurry to open the door because I have him on one arm and then trying to get my keys, and I'm frantic. But he was okay. He was okay. He just went real limp. And I tried to like massage his body, blew in his face just to see if he's conscious. And his eyes are open and he's blinking, so I knew he was conscious. I put him to his water bowl. He didn't drink, so I took a dab of the water on my finger and put it to his lips. And then I ran. Wow, I just saw that thunderbolt. And then I ran in the kitchen to get some honey, and I dabbed it on his tongue. That he ate. Yeah, in case it was a low energy issue. So that's why I did that, just to get some energy in him. And he just lied there for close to an hour. And then he just started walking as if nothing happened. So I'm glad he had his breakfast and he had dinner and all that. I made sure I contacted the doctor. I was scared. But yeah, so he's more fragile than something's going on. So yeah, he's right over there somewhere. Yeah, he's just relaxing. So, what would I like to talk to you about today? Since I got that out the way, I want to talk about relationships. As I talked about in the title, choose your friends wisely, and that if you feel, use your instincts, and if something doesn't feel right, you know, something just you have to be bold enough and confront them. Not with hostility, but address the issue. Um, I met someone early last year. Upon arriving to where I am now, and she seemed okay, a straight-laced person, no nonsense type, and I respected her. But sometimes in a developing friendship, sometimes you might, hear they might say something, but you don't forget. You know what I'm saying? It what they say might be very brief, and it's they only said it once, but it stays in your memory. But let's say in this new friendship, other things are said, and it starts to leave a negative feeling about this person. You start to feel like this person really doesn't like you or respect you or is angry with you for something, but you start to feel a little insecure. Be worried about things like this. Like, I feel if you trying to make new friends or something, sometimes it's better to just be alone. Quantity, don't go for quantity, but quality. You're lucky if you have one excellent friend than 100 so-so friends, you know? And so, yeah, so, if you feel good in yourself, and if you're with somebody, you're getting to know them, and if you find yourself feeling like insecure, uh, maybe you feel like you have to always defend yourself, or you have a sense of shame about your own self, but you didn't feel that way before, be careful about the people who you keep around you. They may be an expert of taking away your energy to make you feel shameful about yourself. But you didn't feel that way before until you met these people. You may need to make that decision and don't stay in that relationship. How would you feel, people? Like, this person I met uh, last year, early last year, and we had gone for a walk, and then they welcomed me back to the gate, and I think I offered them, oh, you want to come inside and see the garden, something like that. But she didn't. But she says, it was a woman, a married woman, and she says, your house is too big for you. Feel like, very blunt and very judgmental. And this is an adult person who's educated, lived in the Western world. And how could someone say that your home, you don't know what I need? And I felt like, wow. And you know, this person never invited me to their home. And I had invited this person to this walk with this other person. And so I felt I reached out in this friendship. And with that other person, I had thought that they would, because I was new, invite me to their home. That never happened. So someone who's in your business, yeah, they avoided for me to know where they lived. I remember I had invited this person to work with another, a group. I mean, one other person. So it'd be just the three of us in this new area. I thought it'd be really exciting. And then the person was going to walk us all home. But I was surprised when she said, "Oh, I'll just walk from here, so you two just keep on going." She didn't want us to walk her to her home. And it was sometime after that, some days after that, it was just me and the other person, the person in question. We went for a little walk. And then that's when they walked me to my gate and judged me. I felt. I just felt it was, what do you get out of that? To tell someone that you're just meeting, really. And again, they didn't want you to see where they lived. Why? Why? That's a big question. And usually you would think that when you're new in an area and the person was the one that initiated the friendship, why wouldn't they want to invite you to their home? If their home is the perfect size, wouldn't they want you to know what a perfect size home for a couple, for a family? That never happens. So I felt that she was being catty as a woman and was jealous. The essence of it was that she was jealous, I felt. And that's why she didn't want to invite me to her home. What else? And there was some other issue. Politics. The person's doing well here. They're retired, but they just started a new business. And I went to her new business twice. First time she wasn't there. Then I left a message on her phone that I came by to visit. And then I went there again. We spoke. Now, we haven't seen each other in, wow, it could be close to a year, actually. And there I felt like microaggressions. Now, being in Africa and the history of the continent, politics is a hot topic and something I think it's wise to avoid, at least in person. Don't talk about politics in person because things could be misunderstood and you might have a visitor to your door that you didn't expect. So the person was saying something about this political person. And it's the second time that she brought this person up. And the first time I did not respond. I felt she was testing me. And then when she brought it up this last time, about 2 days ago, um, I then, I spoke, I addressed the issue, and I said, I don't know why you are saying these things. I never shared my political beliefs with you. And I said, but at least, but you did try to mention it some time before, but I didn't respond to you. So then she says, well, so I just put two and two together that what you must have believed in. I said, well, I'm all about peace. Yeah, see, I don't want to, like, they were trying to be, you know, a little half joking but half serious. It's like saying someone's a little pregnant, okay, because it grows. And it's just 2 weeks ago that this person, Charlie Kirk, because of his beliefs or opinions, and him to be unalived. We have to be very careful these days because just an opinion, or if you have an opponent, and if your opponent doesn't like you, they can spread lies, exaggerations, and they could poison you, your reputation, and get people to hate you for no reason. And that's why I felt like I was just going to leave it and maybe just disconnect my phone, block her number. But I felt like there was something deeper than this joke. Again, she's trying to make it sound like she's just joking. But when people repeat certain things, or testing you, or prodding you, and in this new friendship, if a person, before someone could really joke with you, you have to know if they really care about you or love you in some way. Because if they don't love you or respect you, when they say these comments, it starts to escalate. Words are used as a weapon at times. It comes across subtle at first, and each time that tourniquet gets tighter and tighter. I could have just joked right back. I kind of stood my ground, and I said, look, I don't talk politics in public. I don't. No, especially on this continent. You don't do that. You don't want that knock on the door. And there was another thing, like, I noticed that being down here, you cannot say anything that could be considered a put down about something that happened locally. Now, I had a question regarding, like, early February of this year, 2025, there was a lot of things going on in the U.S. and in several countries on the continent here. And with that, I said, hey, I have to be on my toes, and that something could happen. What if an emergency happens and you have to leave? I don't believe in waiting for something to happen. I want to have my stuff together, so to speak. And when you leave, when you move, you better have your money with you. You better be prepared. You have to take your money with you. So I asked this same person, because they travel a lot. Well, guess what happened? Now, be careful about if you're a single person and your friend is married. Be careful in these type of relationships, because everything you tell that so-called new friend, they're going to tell their spouse. And so if you value your privacy, make sure you say things because you don't want your business out there. It's not like, you're both single and you're just talking between each other. When there's a third person involved and you don't know that third person, you may not want that third person to know your business. I never met her spouse. After all this time that I've been here, for 20 months I've been here, and I never met the person's spouse. And I feel that's deliberate. Okay? Someone who's has these opinions, why wouldn't they invite me to their home? That's a question that is food for thought. So I asked that so-called new friend directly. And so what the person does, they tell their spouse. Now, I've never talked to the spouse before. I don't even know their name. I know nothing about them. And they took my so-called friend's phone and types me a WhatsApp message. And the tone of the text was defensive and insulted, that I would think that this country would do a particular thing to me. And then the next text after that, my so-called friend says, "Oh, that's just my husband. He's just putting his 2 cents in," something to that effect. Don't mind him. And I'm wondering, wait a minute. How is he in this conversation, in this text? I don't know who he didn't even address who he was. So you're just thinking it's your friend's number. It's your friend's WhatsApp account number. So he didn't give the courtesy of saying, "Hey, how you doing? I know this is weird, but I'm so-and-so's husband, and she was sharing something with me. She was concerned about something, and I thought I could maybe help you with, or reassure you, blah, blah, blah." So, it's something like that. I wouldn't have been as defensive. I felt funny, and I felt my privacy was violated. And the person sounded more defensive because of ego. So sometimes, especially if you're a foreigner, people can be defensive. Now, my concern wasn't a specific person or country, it's the system. I used to work in banking. What happens in the banking system, everything's global. Everything affects something else. And you have multiple nations that are reacting. This could affect your bank and your ability to be mobile. But they took it personal. And it wasn't meant as a personal thing, a personal attack on any country. And I have a right to ask a question. Hey, you travel a lot. Hey, what advice could you give? So, so was that the house situation? Oh, what's other thing? Uh, Not wanting me to know where she lived. It was just very obvious. She didn't want me to know where she lived. I know there's something else. But it was just a series of things. And it's just how it leaves you feeling. And I didn't feel that the person was genuine. Like, we used to walk or bump into each other when we're walking. And so now there's no conversation. I say hello, and she keeps going and doesn't want to be bothered. So I just said, okay, sometimes you want to have some time alone. Maybe they were going through something, whatever. But it felt different. It felt different. And it was these feelings and change of attitude, and then with the bringing up on more than one occasion politics, that I must be a certain way, and being accused. I was being accused that because of an that I was being blamed for the problem of the world. I couldn't believe this. Because of me, or people like me, the world is bad. Now how do I supposed to take that? How do I supposed to take that? That's a heavy blow. It's a heavy blow. So, yeah, see how even the sky is angry. Yeah, and I feel like I felt like I had to put my foot down. I knew I could just walk away, brush it off. But I said, start saying, hey, I don't like how I feel. And if people have a right to say things to me, I have a right to respond. And so that's what I decided to do. And so I wrote the person. Initially, they're extremely apologetic, but I noticed in the apology, there was, how do you say, of the three issues that I mentioned, only one of them specifically she mentions, but it was in denial. And so I don't remember what he said to you, what her husband said to me. So I reminded her what was said. And then I brought her the other two issues that she conveniently didn't want to even acknowledge. She didn't acknowledge the issue. She just she was embarrassed, I think. But I worded it, I said, look, I need to talk to you about something. And I think you may not like what I have to say, but I want to say this for us to have an understanding and any clarification that need be. I said, look, I really value your friendship. I really want us to stay friends, but I just think I need to tell you. I said, look, hey, are you upset with me? Then I elaborated the issues of concern. So I find in life, when you confront somebody, and again, I don't like confrontation, but sometimes people, you have to make a decision. You have to speak up, even though you know probably how it's going to end up. Now, I could have just left it when she just said, I'm so sorry, and just play stupid. But see, she needs to know what the issue is. Don't try to hide around it. See, if you address an issue and you kind of run around and just hide, that means they're in denial, and that's the worst type of person to be around. People who are in denial. That just means that they hide their knife, so to speak, and then they look for another opportunity to jab you with it. And I don't want that. Sometimes you have to be direct so they know exactly what your issue is. See, if you talk in generalities, you're going to have a general friendship. Be specific. And if they, a lot of people, they don't want to be confronted. And they may not be used to people confronting them. And I think this was an issue. She's not used to people confronting her. So initially they get all embarrassed. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And then when you press the issue, then they go on the attack. And they twist it. And then try to accuse you of judging them. See how it goes? And that's how the enemy oftentimes works. When you address the issue with respect, they can twist it on you. So this is good in the sense that, see, you're able to know what is a weed in your life. What is a weed? It's something that somehow just seems to attach itself to you and slowly starts to choke the life out of the host. And it's gradual. And then it's too late. Love yourself. And it's okay to confront someone. Use tact. But go head on. You say, look, I'm concerned about this or that. And if they're not man or woman enough to stand to say, I was being a jerk, I'm sorry. Okay, I can deal with that. But when people just get defensive and then they start to verbally attack you, it shows their character. And it shows that your accusations and instinct behind, the motive behind their comments. Jealousy. Never invited you to a home, even though they wanted to invite me to a lunch, because they want to find out about you. Sometimes people approach you like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They want to find out about you. They want to find out where you live, and then they want to judge you. They never invite you over to their home, but they have everything to say about you. And they start judging you. And when you address the issue to them, they get upset. They get offended. This is not unique. But sometimes, I knew a person who was in a friendship. I think that, they were both mothers. But what was happening in their relationship was that one of them kept on insulting the other woman. And they were so-called friends for years, but she was afraid to really challenge this so-called friend. And the friend's son had passed away. And the other lady had said something, and it offended the mother of the deceased. And this hurt the other woman who didn't mean any harm. but it ended their friendship. But I thought about it. I said that sometimes that, you may sacrifice your dignity because you feel that you need this friend, but the friend never respected you, and the friend would harm you with their words. And then when you spoke to your friend about their son, the other lady's son passing, it just, I guess she just couldn't stand up to you anymore. Yeah, why stay in relationships? Why it's like you're hostage. You ever feel like you're hostage in a so-called friendship? You feel that you're being controlled. If you feel that you're being controlled, if you feel that if you really spoke your mind, the person won't like you anymore, or the person will leave you, what is it saying about that relationship? Then the relationship is really fear-based, and you're not setting boundaries for yourself. This person doesn't deserve you. They don't deserve you. If they are not respecting you and you're afraid to speak out because you think they'll go away from you, maybe you should let them go away. Why compromise? What is it that this person has to offer you that you can't get from yourself or somewhere else? We're putting too much value on that other person. Or maybe the person is just, what do you call it, intimidating you. You have people who are in relationships and it's like they're bullies. They're not your friend, they're your bully, and they control you. And that's what's happening. You're being controlled. And if you ever feel you're being controlled by someone, think back. You say, hey, what's going on? If if you're afraid to really speak out to a friend, maybe you should reevaluate that relationship and just pull away. And if they ask, hey, how come you don't, you could tell them, say, look, I value myself, and I felt that if I told you the truth, you won't respect my opinion. So I just walk away. Yeah. A lot of relationships, I think people should walk away from it. You should walk away rather than compromise your dignity for this person. Some things you can't really walk away from. Let's say it's someone on the job. Let's say they have the power to fire you in a situation, that could be tricky. That could be tricky for many people. But your dignity, and maybe somehow, having faith in yourself, say, I know in this relationship that I know what's going to happen, but at least you have your dignity. And I think the powers above will reward you for standing your ground, you know. Stand your ground, people. Stand your ground. You have these relationships. You have people, men or women, who want to find out about you. They might start to judge you, how you wear your clothes, how you wear your hair, how big your house is. Or let's say even your dog. Maybe you have some pets or whatever. It's always something negative. They'll start to, again, as I mentioned, politics, and they start jabbing you with it. You've never talked to them about politics or whatever, but they try to feel you out on whose side you're on. I'm not about anybody's side. I want to be about me. I want to be about me. I'm not in this he said, she said, oh, I'm not going to talk to someone if they like so and so. I want the freedom to talk to who I want to talk to. And that's where you have to really make a stand. Some people will judge you on the type of friends you have, or what politician, or even what type of music you listen to. You know, you have to ask yourself, are you compromising yourself? And I speak this to myself. Some things you could like, okay, say, hey, okay, this might be a sensitive spot for this person. So, go around it. But if something is really, if it's not a balanced friendship, you may have to consider. So, yes, the cost of friendship. Is it really a friendship, or is this a bully? Is this someone that's just assigned to you to find out your business? Are they befriending you because, hey, they belong to an organization and they might want to recruit you? They want to find out what you're about. And say bad comments about a particular person, place, or thing to see what your response would be. Are they using you for politics? Are they going to ask you for like a fundraiser? Hey, oh yeah, I want to get this person, that person. We want to raise money. People have their motive. It seems like these days, people's motives are such that it's not about human beings anymore. It's about what I can get out of that friendship or that acquaintance. Things aren't as innocent as it may have been in the past. And sometimes it's good to test a friendship. It's okay to test a situation. I mean, I'm not saying to set somebody up or something like that, but sometimes it's good to know, hey, where does this person stand? What is this relationship really made out of? You may need to find out. If you find out this person is really not behind you, if you start to feel insecure when this person is in your presence, this might indicate, hey, this may not be a good relationship. A good relationship is one that when you leave that relationship, I mean, when you walk away that day, you feel good. You feel renewed. You feel happy, and it's mutual. But if you feel drained, if you feel guilty, you feel uncomfortable, try to ask yourself why. Why do you feel this way? Why before you saw them, you felt good about yourself, and then when you leave them, you feel bad, like bad. Evaluate. And you may need to confront that person. And if they're not up to, if you really value the friendship, let's say you really value it, it's okay, I'll talk to you later about it or something. If they really refuse to listen, then you may need to walk away from it. You may need to walk away. Again, sometimes in life, it is the best thing to walk alone. Sometimes the best people, the best friendship is to be your own best friend. It's not the number of friends, it is the quality of the friendship. And I think true friendships develop over time. And if a friendship can, things, I think the best friendships are those friendships that you iron out those things, like something happens, and you work it out. You may even start yelling at each other, but you come to a greater understanding, and the friendship becomes stronger. It becomes stronger. So in new friendships, either the confrontation will build the friendship of trust and respect. If it's no respect, people, drop it. Drop that relationship. It is so important. It is so important about mutual respect in a friendship. If there's no respect, see, and I think in that sense, where I'm coming from in this conversation, I felt there was a lack of respect. There was a lack of respect to tell someone that you don't know that where you live, your house is too big for you. Who are they to tell me what's too big? And why don't you show me where you live? Because you may be ashamed what you have and what I have. And again, you don't want to be around people who are jealous of you. And I felt that there was hidden jealousies and animosity that was triggering this person. And so, yes, with that text that I gave, she did not respond to the next one. She didn't look at it. She's all heard all about her husband. Well, be careful, ladies especially. If you have if you're a lady and you have a lady friend who's married, be very careful what you talk to them about. Be very careful, because they might be jealous of you and trash you to their spouses because they're stuck in this relationship and see your freedom and spread your business. Be careful what you tell people in these relationships. If you have a single friend and you're single, okay, you could, you could talk out certain things. But in a relationship and you find that the other person is married, be careful what you tell them. But they would tell your business, especially if it's a female issue or something. That's personal. And you don't want some third party knowing that, that part of you. It's private. So yeah, you have to, I see that you really have to be careful these days in these relationships. Or, I know of a situation like with married couples. I don't I don't write to, if it's a married couple, I only will address, talk to them together. I don't want anybody to accuse me of trying to take someone. No, no, no. I don't play that. So I like to be upfront. So I communicate with married friends on the WhatsApp. It's like a group thing, like a group WhatsApp. So you communicate with both parties at the same time with the text. So the same. So there's no secrets. So you say hello to both of them together through the WhatsApp, whatever. That's what I think that's a safe way. Yeah, you always want, you never want to put yourself in a situation that might be misunderstood. or people could gossip or just lie and say that you're trying to take somebody, Play it smart. Be smart in your relationships. And if necessary, confront that person. And so you may need to hit it head on. And they may, pull away. But again, at least you have yourself and you have your self-respect. And you might feel bad, and initially I feel kind of bad, but I say, better to get the fleas off of the coat, because it just will scratch you later on. You don't need that. Get out those, get out the dirt. You know, be careful by these relationships. So, I hope this live stream. Oh, see the rain has stopped too. Yeah. Be careful in these relationships these days. People could lie on you. People could be setting you up. People may want to see what you have. People could be sociopaths. And you need to protect yourself. You need to protect who comes in your home. Some people who might want to come to, why do they want to come over? Don't have people in your house if they're not willing for you to go over their house. If you're the newbie, they should be inviting you to their house. Do not do it, people. Do not have people come into your house. No. Really think it very carefully. People who say, oh, I want to come to your house. Oh, let me come to your house first, If they don't want you in their house, don't have them come into your house. It's being smart. It's being smart. So, I hope you enjoyed this little talk. And let me know what your thoughts are regarding this, what your experiences are with regard to friendships, whether when to confront a so-called friend, or when do you hold your tongue? What do you do? Let us know. So I thank you for this opportunity to share this topic with you. And until next time soon, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.